Unsolicited advice.
What you whispering for? Yo, what's unsolicited advice? Take it or leave it. You ever catch yourself just scrolling on your phone at night, and before you know it, it's 3 in the morning, and you got to be up at 5? It's just, just scrolling through negative stuff or just whatever content. You're just going down that rabbit hole instead of closing your eyes. And it's like some people just have a need to stay informed, or they just compulsively consume bad news or just drama or whatever. But it's often late at night, even when it worsens, your mood, you just keep doing it. So, especially around about the pandemic, I think that's when we really started doing it, because there wasn't nothing else to do. And in that time, we was tracking the news, we was tracking anything COVID related or anything political, as we just said, we was having an election too as well. Any type of climate disasters. So fast forward to 5 years later, which is now, we need to find out why we're doing it. So, doom scrolling, like I said, is just the act of just endlessly scrolling down your feed. So much so to the point you don't realize it's changing your mood, or it's just becoming negative. So, our brains, we're wired to pay more attention to threats. We're more wired to pay attention to negative stuff instead of positive stuff. But it's usually just an illusion. Reading more bad news or just bad feeds, it feels like gaining control over chaos. It's like, oh, I'm preparing myself. If I read more about it, then I'll be prepared. It's like, no, it's just chaos. And you have to understand, the more that you sit there and you look at, your phone is building an algorithm, and that's all it'll show you, because you're watching it, you're stopping to watch it. So now it's doing a digital footprint to say, okay, this is what they like, so I'm gonna keep showing. Every time they scroll, they're gonna see the same things, the same type of platforms, So it'll just flood your timeline with the same thing. So a lot of times I try to watch funny stuff, just because I like watching funny stuff, and it helps my mood, and I've learned not to scroll and keep watching negative stuff. I try to hurry up and go straight to the funny or whatever. But it does have a mental health impact, and I'm gonna try to make this video very short, because it has a mental health impact on all of us, and we don't realize it. But it increases anxiety, depression, your stress, sleep disruption, emotional fatigue, sense of hopelessness or paralysis, especially when it's something close to home or something that's relatable that you're looking at. It definitely will give you hopelessness, or just may have you stuck. So, especially so this is just really aiming towards Gen Z and millennials, especially if you're vulnerable. But 50%, I think, of like Gen Z doom scrolls regularly. And I think it's like women in particular are more affected due to emotional weight of violence and trauma, because they react to it different than men do, where we might be nonchalant, they care more. So doom scrolling is not good. Learn to put your phone down, have a set time where you just put your phone down. Hell, just turn some music on. That's a good alternative. Turn your music on, listen to your songs, things like that. But we have to learn to put our phones down, turn the TV off, and just relax and go to sleep. Listen to some soothing sounds. I wanted to make this video quick because I know it was an issue that we needed to address. That's just my unsolicited advice. You can take it or leave it.